All right, friends, we're back with a new video on our favorite friend, I Am Longevity, man. It's Timon. And we're going to react to the I Am Longevity Fitness Slave, broski. That's right. So I Am Longevity, or Shortgevity, says 120 years old. Only one way to get there at 120. Well, I don't know. There's people that have made it to 120. It's you can find it on Google. It'll tell you. Anyways, yeah, how did they get there? It wasn't exercise, dude. That's for sure.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. May 31st, 2025.
Yes, hello, Tony. How are you? How you doing?
To speak to you about something very important
Yes.
concerning my channel. My channel, the purpose of my channel.
You got a filter on? You're looking much better with the filter, dude. I'm telling you. I never use filters, but it's damn looking good for you there. That's it's giving you a good look. Much better.
It's not about exercise. I do exercises, I show exercise, but it's not to compete. I don't care about competing. I ain't competing against Father Time.
Right, got it. You're competing against Father Time. Okay.
My objective on this channel
Yes.
is to try to reach as old as I can get. I'm trying for that 120. I'm not saying I'm
You're at a head start already. You're 95 years old. You're almost there. What are you worried about?
going to get there, but that's my goal. There is only one way today that you can get to 120 or maybe 130.
Really?
Forget about 150, 180. That's not happening.
Really? Well, why isn't that happening? 150 or 180? Why? Why can't that happen? I think it can happen. I've got faith.
So all these hackers that are telling you this, they're lying to themselves. Let me explain.
Okay.
When you reach the age of 100,
Yes.
you age exponentially. I guess, to make it to 101 is like, I don't know, 30% chance, 40%
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
chance.
Okay.
And then it gets even worse. When you get
Yeah.
to 110, to get to 111, it's in the single digits. Maybe
Right.
2-3% chance of making it to 111 because you have weakened. There is only one way to make it to 120.
Okay. What is that one way? What is that one way, Tony? I'd love to know. What's the secret? What's the secret?
When you reach 100 years old,
Yes.
you have to have the body of a 50-year-old.
Oh, so when you reach 100, you have to have the body of a 50-year-old. Yes, that has crossed my mind, definitely, yes. I've been thinking about being 30 the rest of my life. Really, I like to look 30 the rest of my life. Skin is a big factor. Skin tells you a lot about your health. See what I mean? So I think the number one thing to focus on is the skin, and then everything else will come with that as well, the skin. Now, what can you do to make your skin look like a 30-year-old? Well, that's going to be very difficult, you know. I've been trying everything, Tony. I'm not really sure. Now I'm thinking maybe I lack vitamin C. I mean, I've been reading, I've been thinking about incorporating papaya back in my diet, but not eating it like, astronomically high amounts of papaya. But definitely it's low in acid. We don't want acid. And it's high in vitamin C. And yeah, I don't know. It's I think it's 18 grams of sugar per papaya or something. Yeah, I don't like that 18 grams of sugar thing, dude. But I don't know. I guess I could tolerate it. But then there's of course bone broth soups. I should start ramping up. See, I don't really know. Could be ramping up some bone broth soups, making a lot of bone broth. Bones are cheap to buy, and make bone broth soups crazy. Ramping up the collagen production, that's really important. I think collagen, honestly, I really think collagen is number one for skin collagen, definitely. But how can we do that? Well, I have seen shows on TV like Dr. Oz and all that, where these ladies have come on and they make bone broth soups and they swear by it. Their skin looks good, looks amazing and everything. Now, in the past, I did eat a lot of fruit, vegetables, whatever, but they kind of made me sick. Maybe because I overconsumed them. I'm not really sure. But when I overconsume meat or fish, I never get sick if I overconsume it. But it's even really hard to consume it now because I'm really so adjusted now with the nutrients. I don't have to eat that much. I can get away with one meal a day. But honestly, I think maybe incorporating bone broth soups. Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm going to have to give it a try. Like I said, everything is about experimentation, Tony. Yeah, you have to try everything to figure it out. But you're not going to make it on that sludge food diet and those supplements that you keep eating. That's not going to work.
And I'm not just talking about the body. I'm talking about movements, everything, agility.
Oh, you're not talking about the body. You're talking about movements. So movements are going to make you young and make you live to 120. Yeah, I don't know too many factory workers, man. Construction workers make it to 120 working labor jobs. Yeah, no slaves have ever lived that long. I don't know any slaves that worked labor jobs and lived that long. A lot of them were on those treadmills, believe me. And that's why they call them treadmill, because they were milling on the tread.
Muscles, your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, your fascia, your extracellular matrix,
Yeah.
your VO2 max.
Oh.
Everything has to be that of a 50-year-old.
It
That's
does.
the only way. You cannot have the body of even a 90-year-old. What do you think? You think you're just going to take these supplements?
Yeah, but you have the body of a 95-year-old. I don't understand. What are you talking about, dude? You're taking those supplements.
And become a vegan or eat meat, and by proxy you're gonna maintain a young muscular body, a functional quality muscles. That's not gonna happen. And guess what controls all this?
What?
Motor units.
Guess what controls all that? Motor units. It controls youth, man. But here's the thing for you, Tony. If you deplete the stem cell pool like what you're doing right now, then you're going to run out of those motor units. Yeah, I think you need to read science again. I think you need to read up on stem cells. If the stem cell pool is depleted like what you're doing, unfortunately, you're going to die. And those motor units, they're going to die with you. Yeah.
Especially the fast ones. But as you age, you lose all motor units, including the slow ones.
No, you don't. But as you age, and you're depleting the stem cell pool, you're going to exhaust them, and you're going to die.
You have to, there's only one way. That means when you reach 100, you have to have the motor units of a 50-year-old.
What about stem cells? You don't have to have stem cells? How are you going to repair and regenerate yourself? Here's the thing. Motor units, they have nothing to do with regeneration. But stem cells, they have everything to do with regeneration and the functionality of motor units. And I can prove it. Tony. You want to see? In my community section, I posted something there. You can even read it on NCBI. Bro. But look, check this out, man. All right, this is just for you, Tony, okay? Okay, dude? I have a posting here for you. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. This is the one, Tony. If the stem cell pool, MUSC pool, is exhausted, it can lead to a decline in skeletal muscle regeneration. Yeah. If there is a decline and you exhaust the stem cell pool, then what is there? There's a decline in skeletal muscle regeneration and potentially cause loss of motor units. It potentially causes the loss of what? Motor units. So if you exhaust your stem cell pool first, Tony, by jumping around, and guess what's going to happen? When those go first, then the motor units are gone. This is because MUSCs, specifically satellite cells, are crucial for muscle repair and growth throughout life. When their regenerative capacity diminishes due to exhaustion, it can result in muscle atrophy and loss of individual muscle fibers. That's a bad thing, Tony, which in turn affects the motor units that innervate those fibers. See what I mean? So you really got to keep your muscles healthy and regenerative and strong. And if you don't remodel, if you keep exercising and repairing without remodeling, then you're exhausting the stem cell pool, Tony. Do you understand me, Tony? And you're not remodeling. Yeah. See what I mean? You're not remodeling. That is your problem. So yeah, stem cell exhaustion, impact on motor units. There's a huge impact. Motor units are functional units of the muscle contraction. You see that? Comprising of motor neuron and all the muscle fibers it innervates When muscle regeneration is impaired due to MUSC exhaustion, the muscle fibers themselves can be lost or become what? Atrophic, shrunken. This can lead to a decline in the number of muscle fibers innervated by the motor neuron, potentially resulting in a loss of motor units. See? Yeah. Muscle disease and aging. That's another way, too. That's another problem. There's all kinds of things that are affecting you. See that? Leading to a decline in muscle regeneration, potentially affecting motor units. Yeah. Disease and aging. Implications for function. Loss of motor units can lead to reduced muscle strength, weakness, and impaired movement. The extent of functional impact depends on the number of motor units lost and specific muscles involved. Yeah, it's all kind of it's all intertwined, dude. But it is what it is, Tony. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, dude. I don't know what else to tell you there, Tony. It's unfortunate. It just works that way.
That's not easy to do. It's probably almost impossible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm training for. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I'm trying.
You want to know what I'm training for? I'm training too to live to 180 or 200. You know how I'm doing it? Muscle regeneration. One baby step at a time. I'm regenerating my body, but I'm making sure that it's going through a remodeling stage. You understand me? We're getting rid of the old muscle and bringing in the new muscle and then gaining more muscle. Without that remodeling, you're fucked. If you keep repairing, you'll exhaust the satellite cell pool. Me, I'm trying to expand the satellite cell pool for future regenerative demands.
It's an experiment I'm trying. So when I do these...
And every time you do that, you get rid of these senescent cells and myogenic decline.
These exercises, guys coming on my channel making these crazy comments. I could beat you in 60 meters. Show me your time. I don't care about that. So what? You're faster. If you're faster, so what? What does that mean? I'm not...
I wouldn't pay attention to them, Tony. You're doing what you love, man. Exercise. Never mind people telling you they can beat you in running or whatever. Forget that.
Competing with you. They got millions of people that are probably faster than me at my age. I don't know. They got guys that could beat me a lot of things my age. I don't care. I am training for a specific purpose. The only way you can get to 120 is not by eating special diets or stem cells, because stem cells do not fix motor units.
Yes, they do. The stem cell pool, if it's lost, if you exhaust it, there goes those motor units, because they have no house to live in. If the muscle goes, the motor units go. They have no house to live in. There's nowhere to innervate them if you lose muscles. If you lose the regenerative capacity to regenerate, then guess what? You're exhausted, you'll die. You'll die.
Units are post-mitotic. What does that mean? When you're born, when you're in your womb,
the muscles are post-mitotic as well, but guess what? You can regenerate them. See what I mean? Now, he says the motor units are post-mitotic. Yeah, they are. Look. Let's look this up. Motor units are post-mitotic. The term post-mitotic doesn't have a standard meaning in the context of motor units. Motor units are the functional units of skeletal muscle, composed of motor neuron, and all the muscle fibers it innervates. They are responsible for generating muscle contractions and are the fundamental part of motor control. Yeah. Okay, they say that it's no. It has a standard meaning of the context motor units. It doesn't have that standard post-mitotic. See, post-mitotic. It doesn't apply to motor units. Now, muscle. The term muscle is post-mitotic appears to be a misunderstanding of a typo. The medical term related to muscle injuries is often referred to as, not post-traumatic. I'm talking about post-mitotic. They don't split and divide. Hold on a second. or myonuclei. The statement nuclei are postmitotic and do not split or divide is inaccurate. Okay, while the postmatic isn't standard, but whatever. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. Skeletal muscle cells, also called muscle fibers, are multinucleated and postmitotic, meaning they do not divide after development. See? They don't divide, Mr. Tony. While the number of nuclei in a muscle fiber doesn't typically increase through division, it can be increased through the addition of new nuclei from satellite cells, according to a study published in the Journal of Pause Biology. This process can occur during muscle growth, hypertrophy, or repair. Mostly through remodeling. That's where it happens, actually. The remodeling phase is what makes this happen. So yeah, you get the fusion of satellite cells, yada, yada, yada. So it has somewhere to innervate. With an increase of nuclei and fibers and things, the motor units, they have somewhere to proliferate. You get the picture anyways, whatever. So it's better to focus on muscle because muscle is regenerative. Now, as far as what it said there, man, they're not postmitotic, these motor units. They're just there. You know what I mean? They're just there.
You got like 5, 6 different, numerous neurons controlling muscle fibers. Then your body starts pruning. This is before you're born. And it chooses one of the motor neurons to control specific muscle fibers. It could be 50, 300. Normally it's 300. One motor neuron controls about 300, but they can control up to 1,000. When you're born, you are born with that motor neuron. It's post-mitotic. It means it doesn't divide. That has to last.
We know they don't divide. Yeah, you're born with that motor unit, and then you die with those motor units, and you may die with less motor units. I don't know.
You your entire life, but it doesn't, because most people don't train to keep their motor. They're not even thinking about it when they're kids.
What do you mean train to keep them? You don't have to train to keep them. You can't increase. If it's something is postmitotic, it means it doesn't increase in number. Duh. But guess what? Muscle can through myonuclei.
When they're in their 20s, it is impossible to maintain all your motor units. That's why it is the aging process. It's not a symptom of aging. It is the aging process.
It is not the aging process. The aging process is based on senescent cells and the exhaustion of the stem cell pool, because you're not regenerating. And those cells in your body, they stop dividing. That's why they're called senescent. They're neither alive or dead. They simply don't divide anymore. And they're exposed to DNA damage. So that's why you look so old. Look at your skin and everything. That's why it looks fucked up. So number one, you need to focus on regeneration so you can remove these dead senescent cells, okay? That's number one. Number two, you need to ramp up collagen production. So it's good to focus on bone broth soups and some higher vitamin C, possibly papaya or something that doesn't have like all this acid in it, whatever. High vitamin C, maybe low sugar. Maybe you can get away with these acidic things. In Mexico, South America, they eat everything with like limes. They put limes on everything. I don't know why, because it's a habit, because they got used to it. So they have a lot of vitamin C, maybe to keep them healthy, because they knew about disease. Who the hell knows, man? They figured it out.
What I'm saying is this: there is only one way. You have to fight to maintain your motor units if you want to live. Yes, you have to eat right. You have to do all that stuff. You have to do all that. Supplements.
It's hard to eat right today. Even the animal products, they're poisoned. You know that they're poisoned. Your tap water's poisoned. The food you're eating's poisoned. Fuck, man, everything's poisoned, bro. try to get away from it. I mean, you could narrow it down as much as you can. You understand me? To avoid it. But it's really hard at the end of the day. It's really difficult to get away from everything that is poisoning you in this environment, this artificial environment.
Some of you want to take TRT, go right ahead. Metformin, go right ahead. But that's not going to help you to maintain your motor.
No. They said that testosterone would prevent the loss of these motor units. Testosterone. I don't know if they meant synthetic or your testosterone high levels. I'm not sure. But it's good to have optimal hormone levels, that's for sure.
Units. And by the way,
Yeah.
it's not just maintaining your motor units, it's the signal from the brain to the muscle that
Yes.
counts. You could have 50%, 100% motor units, but if they're not receiving that signal, by the way, you lose that signal when you age. The white matter in your
Really? You do you?
motor cortex, it dies out. The signal dies out. It won't reach.
Yeah.
That's another problem. It's not the fast twitch fibers. 'Cause one guy made a comment. Oh, it's easy to train fast twitch fibers. All I have to do is punch fast, do this and that. No, it's not. No, it's not, because if you were right, then you would have 80-year-olds moving like 30-year-olds. But they aren't. They aren't. Sprinters slow down. Master sprinters slow down because it cannot be stopped. So wherever you are, then make that comment. Come on, man. If it was that simple, everybody would do it. It's the signal. That's the hardest part. That's the part you need to train. And by doing power exercises, it's not enough. It's not enough to save that signal. Anyway, I just wanted to share what my channel is about. Maybe I will not get there, but I have nothing to lose.
Right.
I have nothing to lose. So far, I'm doing good. Anyway.
He's got nothing to lose. He's doing pretty good. He's not a bad guy, Tony. He just, I don't know. He's just so excited about the motor units, bro. Get it? And he's just a jolly old guy. You know what I mean? Really, honestly, I feel kind of sad for Tony. You know, he thinks he's discovered the fountain of youth. Ponce de Leon has discovered the fountain of youth. I guess it's not in Florida. Guess where it is? It's in your muscles, bro. It's called motor units. Anyway, Tony's interesting, man. It looks like he's gonna make it to 100 next year. You know, good for him, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait to see him in 5 years on his 100th birthday. All right, friends. See you in the next video. Test, think about that, like, subscribe, support the unit. What do you think, man? You think these motor units, what do you think is more important? To focus on regeneration, stem cells, and remodeling, and expanding the satellite cell pool? Or do you think you should focus on the motor unit? Now, in eccentric exercise, because we can lift heavier and eccentrically, that definitely will recruit motor units like crazy. Trust me, we recruits motor units like you've never seen out of this world. That's why it's superior modality for strength and size. See what I mean? Strength and stuff. Where's the size? The size is in the damage, okay? Eccentric exercises causes massive damage, and then it goes through a remodeling. So that's where the mass comes from. Now the strength, well, that strength too also comes from the muscle. But the motor units now have somewhere to proliferate more in the new muscle fibers and the nuclei and all that, okay? So, and you're expanding the satellite cell pool for further regenerative demands, yada, yada. So, yeah, you're preventing the exhaustion of the satellite cell pool. I think it's a more sophisticated thing to expand satellite cell pool. Now, I can't really tell you how long, if you do a lot of expanding of the satellite cell pool when you're young, and then you stop lifting, I don't know, that can last for quite a while. But it may not go for so long, you know what I mean? But it could last for quite a while, definitely, yeah. I don't know, it's really hard to say. Who knows? I can't tell you for sure, man. I don't know for exactly. Seemingly, it seems that way. But anyways, yeah. I think you should focus on regeneration. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.